All right, Shalom, Yashala. Getting right to it. Giving all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, great millstone. Much salutations to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect, soon to be like Most High will. To contrite spirits returning back to the Most High blessings. This is a Hebrew scholar, giving his take on Adam and Eve. And of course, it's bogus. He had a couple of points in there, but according to, closer to what it does mean. But he got, this is, what these Christians in America were taught to, and all around the world were taught to believe. Now, is supposed to be Adam and Eve, which is not biblically correct. Depiction of them is wrong. It wasn't no snake in the garden. That's wrong. So that lets you know that all this stuff, all the things that they believe in and have a theory about, it's wrong. And that's why they hate this truth. And they hate that the Most High is dealing with men that they would, think to be less important in the earth, you know what I mean? Or no value in the earth. And the Most High is flipping on these devils because these scholars, theologians, they used to be considered someone important to listen to seek knowledge from, being in their schools. Now, this is something more, supposedly more iconic, more closer to the ancient type of depictions of the icons that were going back to the, the Dark Ages, which this is not biblically correct either. Who is that? Putin, showed depiction of the real Jews, the people of the Bible, and they were dark skinned basically. And he was relating that to be the Negroes. It wasn't Elamites, it wasn't Ishmaelites. It was Negroes, and even Hitler made recognition of that by stating that America had God's Jews in their hands. But it says, what does the original Hebrew text reveal about Genesis 1 through 11? And like I said, they have people to believe in this BS, that it was a real serpent, that this is the first of mankind, and they were molded into being sons of God, to where, and look, everybody's naked and shit. Like, this is what they teach. This is the crap they teach. That's why the anti-Christians are bugged out today, because this is what they picture when the Bible has been read to them. They even taught to them, but and then you got this term, and here's some depictions right here. They talking about, it shows that snake again. And like I said, it wasn't a snake, serpent. It's not dealing with a snake. And then they said, it was an apple or fruit they off the tree. That's not biblically correct. So these drawings, I'm pretty sure a lot of them are from different scholars, because all those scholars don't believe in the same thing. And that's another thing. And a lot of these are weird ass drawings, man. Depictions, weird art depictions of how they perceived Adam and Eve was. And this is false, man. Remember they had that saying, they have that term Adam's apple. And I looked it up. It says the term Adam's apple likely comes from the Judeo-Christian folktale about Adam and Eve. According to ancient legend, God caused an apple to become stuck in Adam's throat after he ate the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge. However, the name was commonly given to the fruits in the Middle Ages, and Adam's apple itself is a translation of an old Latin word from pomegranate. So all this bogus, this is the crap, and that you learn from these theologian schools. Some, they teach different things, so some of them might have more points of truth, regarding Adam and Eve, Moses, Noah, but they don't have the whole truth. And a lot of them, they learned from the prophets. Believe it or not, they learned from One West. They learned the truth about, America being Babylon. It's not like there's so much of a mystery to where, you related to confusion. And you could be like, oh, that makes sense. But, the Most High is dealing with specific men. Not everybody. And it talks about the wisdom of the world in the scriptures. It's foolishness with the Most High. Wisdom of this world is coming from like scholars and teachers and theologians and doctors and scientists. Science so-called. Let me just see if I can pop that up. Yeah, it says 1 Timothy 6:20, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings, vain confusion, babbling with the tongue and not knowing what you're talking about. That's where you get the word Babylon from. Babel, Babal. They had the Tower of Babel. Most High confounded their languages, so they wouldn't understand each other. So this is confusion all over again right here in America. This is modern-day Babylon itself, as well as modern-day Rome. The opposition of science, falsely so-called. See? Let's get that word science right quick. And by the way, what they say science is the study of things that's made. Let me see what the blue letter says. It says somewhat that effect, somewhat that meaning. It says
Strong's G 1108.
Gnosis, which means pretty much knowledge. See, knowledge signifies in general intelligence, understanding. But you can have knowledge and have no understanding. It says, with all thy getting, get understanding. The general knowledge of Christian religion. See, he said, babblings, vain babblings, and science so-called. This is not real science. If you want to be technical and, include that in your vocabulary, well, real science is, come from the Most High. It says, especially of things lawful and unlawful for Christians, moral wisdom, such as is seen in right living. And I told you about, it says moral wisdom right here, and I told you about there's different wisdom. There's the wisdom of the world, which the Most High said is foolishness with him. Get in the New Testament. out there really messing with things, man. Let me see. Get it right here. So, that's how Esau works. He be like, how did these Negroes, what do they know about the Bible? We're supposed to be dumbasses. We're supposed to we're supposed to be less educated. Our brain's supposed to be smaller. They had a scene in Roots, the movie Roots, and it was a white. I don't want to play it because they're gonna, it's gonna be copyright infringement, whatever. But it was a so-called white woman, an Edomite, talking to a black slave, telling her, well, just like men are over women, whites are smarter than blacks. Let's see what the Most High says. Because this devil operates by the wisdom of the world. If he operated by the wisdom of the Most High, they wouldn't be breaking these scriptures down like this. They would understand that there wasn't a snake in the garden. They would understand that Adam and Eve formed from the dust of the ground, which is brown, melanated people, and they would understand it was more people on the earth than Adam and Eve. It says, wisdom of the world is foolishness with the Most High. 1 Corinthians 3:19. The wisdom of this world is foolishness. Is foolishness with the Most High, says God. For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Yeah. So all that science, that theology, like the theology it means come from pretty much means doctrine or study or a curriculum or whatever. And theo come from the God-like. So the study or the doctrine of God, or doctrine of gods, if you will, with a plural. Even going back to Allahayim, he mentioned that. Allahayim, which means gods. Allah just means power or God. So we've broken that down before. The apostles got a whole break. If you go to GMS Vault, you can find a lot of the breakdowns, even Genesis, going into Adam and Eve, going into, the flood during the days of Noah, going into Cain and Abel, and things like that. They don't even understand the mark of Cain. They don't understand. And so how could they understand these things, even coming from where vocab is? He couldn't possibly know the scriptures coming from that standpoint of theology, of whatever school he went to. Whatever, these are supposed to be Bible scholars. I think, and Most High said he don't care about titles, flattering titles, doctors, scientists, Bible scholar. Let me go back to the video. And he opened up the Hebrew text, and you see in the text they have, I want to show it. Weird drawings. You can see, I guess it's God, in the form of a human, and making Adam, and Adam's depicted as a naked man. This is some, who drew this? Why do they have this? But I know why. What makes sense to some doesn't mean, it's a general sense for others. especially if it's not according to the Bible. This is not according to biblical um, text. They didn't look like this, you know. And the Son of God is not God Himself. He's the Son of God, just like it says in the Scriptures. Then you got. So what does it say about the heathen? Open up the book of the law and paint it. Open the book of the law, King James Version. First Maccabees 3:48, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. And it talks about the fruitless labor that it I think it's thought it was the next verse. The fruitless labor of the painter, King James Version. Fruitless labor, King James Version. Fruitless labor of the painter, King James Version. Wisdom of Solomon 15:4. For neither did the mischievous invention of men deceive us, nor an image spotted with divers colors the painter's fruitless labor, the sight whereof entices fools to lust after it, and so they desire the form of a dead image that have no breath. But it still had, and it talks, talking about statues and things that they intended for Israel to worship to steer us away from the Most High, Yahweh, and the Son Yahweh Shai, which was His express image. And it says that, but in the likeness of painting, images in the Bible, sculptures, images of sculptures that may be found in the Bible, But if Most High was dealing with them, they wouldn't. This wouldn't even be. They wouldn't even draw on this here. This is how they think, though. Because Most High didn't give them the truth. And it talks about in the scriptures also, ever learning, never able to come into the knowledge of the truth. What did it say? The mysteries was given to His servants, the prophets. There are mysteries in this Bible, dark saying parables. People can draw a picture of anything through, by means of text, and they can interpret it their own way. Just like if somebody, if a man texts a woman and, she's all into the emojis and all that, and if he don't send a happy face, that text could mean something else. Or he would have to explain everything he says because it's not, she can't really read the expression, or because she can't hear him talk. You don't know if somebody's mad or not unless they put a mad emoji on the phone, or 4 or 5 exclamation marks, like they're yelling, or when people say, when they quote a movie, or they remember a scene from a movie and they quote a word and they say, in my Denzel voice, in my Samuel L. Jackson voice. So that gives an expression. Well, the images that you see, if there's no text and breakdown behind these images, of course you're going to be fooled. Because if you link these images up with the text, you'll be like, well, something's wrong. because it doesn't match. It said Adam came from the dust of the ground. Like, we all know what color dust is. It says, Paul said it's a shame for a man to have long hair, yet every Serge Bourgier picture that's supposed to be depicted as the Son of God has long, stringy hair. It says blonde hair is a curse in the book of the law. Within the 5 books of the law of Moses, it's a curse, and yet they depict the Son of God having blonde hair. Anyway, now you people say, well, who ate the apple, and some people think that was literal. Some people use it as a metaphor, so to speak. The Apple company, I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, their logo, but it deals with computers, and it's somewhat kind of more on point relating to what it was that Eve was deceived with, which is philosophies, different wayward doctrines that were steered her heart from the Most High. So you have the apple, forbidden apple, and you have the Matrix. Well, I looked up the Matrix type of Apple logo, and so that's what we're moving into, digital everything. Elon Musk has talked about heavily. He's a side man along with beside Donald Trump. Bill Gates is still in the works. The CEO of Microsoft. He's linked with Elon Musk. So in this digital world, from the old world into this digital world that we're moving into, the New World Order, which is explained by the prophets concerning prophecy, and it's on the back of your dollar bill. Nouveau Seclarium Ordo. I think I'm saying it out of order, but it's Novo. I think that's what it is. Novo Ordo Seclarium, which means New World of the Ages, or basically the same thing as New World Order. And it got everything to do with this a digital world, a digital device, a controlling system. It has to do with the number, numeric, binary, age, coded age, of this matrix, which is womb, Rakam in Hebrew, to where now it makes sense, because they, within all this, is philosophical. Phila means love, and sophical, which comes from Sophia, means wisdom, a lover of wisdom. But it's the wisdom of the world. This is Esau's wisdom on the left-hand side, and it says that in the scriptures, it says, who could search out the wise man? Let me get that. Who could search out that wisdom of Esau, King James Version? Now, come on, man. The hell, man. Obadiah 1:6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Now, and if you go back in text too, it says he was wiser than Daniel. But and he was, as a serpent, it said he was more cunning than all the beasts of the field, which field is the world. He was crafty. He even called him a cunning hunter. Esau was a cunning hunter. So, he had melanin, but the spirit of that serpent works today through Esau and his domain and the whole world of what he's coming with, which is this new world order in the form of NATO and EU, which is a military dynamic of power that is set up by the elites. And then you got the economic, which is EU, the European Union, and the harlot that rise up on the beast, which is America. So, it's kind of like that Wizard of Oz tale. It's kind of like that Alice in Wonderland thing. Israel. It's all about Israel and these nations trapping her, making a confederacy against her, taking the knowledge and wisdom from her, taking the nurturing element of land and agriculture from her by besieging and raping the land, and then we fleeing and running and being divided, dispersed, them coming to get us, putting us in slavery. Them knowing that we're here over here in America, which was called the New World, which is in the Bible, in the Apocrypha, a land not inhabited. It says a land that no man dwelt, where our brothers, the northern kingdom, came. So this serpent, this dragon, it says the old serpent, the devil, that old serpent, the devil, this dragon that this talks about in a revelation that stood before the child to devour him soon as he be born. The Herodian dynasty, playing a part during Roman captivity when Yahweh Shai was alive. In the forming of, the forming of the Treaty of Rome into this capitalism system, being Rome all over again right here in America, and it's the same pretty much coat that they're wearing to keep us divided and controlled and feed us with various philosophies, science so-called, that to keep us confused. Like, what's the truth? And it says, Yahweh Shai says, the truth shall make you free. You shall know the truth. You shall know the truth, King James Version. And this is the truth. Because what did he say would come? Who would come? John the Baptist. And he has come. And they say, we're Negroes, so it's the last thing they would think in their mind. But that's what it says in the Apocrypha. How is he numbered among the saints? How are they the children of God? How are they being called up to salvation? John the Baptist, which was Elijah, what came as Abba Bivens. John 8:30-2. Now it says, "You shall know the truth." Did that scholar tell us the truth? No, were those depictions of Adam and Eve real? No. Did they really get fooled by a real snake? No. Did they look like that? No. John 8:32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Yeah. Because once upon a time, being actually in the land of Jerusalem, we acknowledged as a sense of freedom. Because we had our own culture, we had our own farming and all that. Most High said He'll give us abundance. He'll give us the land, and He said land of Canaan, the land of milk and honey, you know. But now, even in a cultural sense, that Negroes live by that code. As far as being in America, everything is still linked to these devils where they make money off of, what we do as